Hello, welcome to Irish Football Fan TV. I'm joined by Hugh Murray and Garry Curran. You all know myself by now, Paul Nealon. And we're here basically to talk about Ireland's front line ahead of the playoffs. We have a lot of exciting talent coming through, as well as our already established strikers. To name a few, obviously David McGoldrick is probably the top priority striker that we have right now, although he's not scoring too many goals. Then you have arguably Shane Long, because he's been playing Premier League football, but then you have young exciting players like Troy Parrott, Aaron Connolly, Michael Obafemi, Adam Eden now, who's recently just came to prominence there at the weekend, but we kind of all knew about him. We were waiting for him to really get a chance. Then you've got your Sean Maguire's, Callum Robinson, Scott Hogan, James Collins. I don't think I've left anyone else out there, but for the first time in a long time we actually have exciting strikers coming through. After, you think back to the Martin O'Neill towards the end, and we were kind of struggling to think where we'd get a striker who'd start scoring goals. Sean Maguire was given chances, never really delivered in terms of scoring the goals. Probably unlucky with injuries as well. Callum Robinson, I know he got a goal against New Zealand, never really shown a lot in terms of goal scoring. And then Shane Long hardly ever scores for us. And since Robbie Keane's kind of left, we haven't had anybody banging the goals in, and that was probably before the Euros, on a regular basis. And even at that stage, Robbie was winding down his career, and he was still scoring goals for us, and he was still our top scorer and stuff like that. I think if you didn't realise by now how much of a good player Robbie Keane was, I think you're a bit delirious. But what do you think, if you were going for the playoffs in March, say Ida gets a bit more of a run, even if he's not scoring goals, but say he gets a bit more of a run, maybe in the Premier League. Aaron Connolly seems to establish himself now as one of Graham Potter's favourite players. He really seems to like him and gives him a lot of game time. He's been in and out through injuries, but when he's been fit, he's been getting a lot of chances. Done well against Chelsea there the other day. Troy, we did a previous video there which you can check out on Troy, whether he should go on loan to the Bundesliga or maybe Eredivisie to get some game time after he signs his contract with Spurs, because it seems like he's not going to get game time with them. But kind of looking around, Obafemi obviously getting bits of bobs here and there as well. Scored a great goal against Chelsea. But if you're kind of looking at it and kind of coming into March and everybody's kind of firing on all cylinders, what way would you kind of look at it? Would you go with like a front three, or what way would you kind of be looking at?
I think firing on all cylinders is a good quote there, because none of them are prolific goal scorers. Do you know what I mean? So it's tough. I think David McGoldrick has been fantastic, and I think Mick is in the same boat as everyone else, knowing that we don't have a goal scorer. It's not going to get 10 in the qualifiers. Do you know what I mean? David McGoldrick does that kind of false 9 role, drops it. He probably picks the ball up more closer to the halfway line than he gets touches in the box. Yeah. But I think that's not a negative thing either, because we know that the players we have there are all fantastic players. Do you know what I mean? But none of them are bagging goals in any of their teams. Obviously, Adam at the weekend scored 3, amazing, and that obviously gives him a chance to go into the lineup. Do you know what I mean? But I think that we do have to stick to the 3 up front, because when McGoldrick does come back, that allows the 2 wingers to kind of get themselves into the box, and when crosses come in, you have the fireman on the outside as well. It is strange, because our main goal threat at the moment is from corners with Shane Duffy. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. I think when we get a corner, everyone sits forward on their couch or stands up in the stands and waits for that header that Shane Duffy
or a free kick,
which is mad, because we have a list of fantastic footballers here that you could literally throw any of those in the deep end and they could all do in and around the same job. So it is going to be tough to pick. I think David McGoldrick will play, of course, because he's earned that right to, and his performances have been fantastic for one of our better players in the qualifiers. So I think he will play in the 9 in the 4-3-3. But it's picking the 2 lads on the side that's going to be tough. Do you put someone who is a centre forward, Obafemi or Shane Long, or obviously James McLean is there as well for a wing role.
Yeah, he's doing well.
He is doing well. He's flying. So it is going to be tough, even with the wingers on top of the strikers, to go in. Who do you think? Obviously, it's going to be tough for us to score goals outside of corners and free kicks, because that's just the way it's been over the last year and a half or so. So who do you think should go in instead of Dave McGoldrick, or in and beside Dave McGoldrick?
I think it's important to have McGoldrick. He's earned his right to be there, as you said. He's the main man, probably in McCarthy's eyes. But I think it's no harm in trying different things out. Maybe not at this stage, with the important qualifiers coming up. But pace merchants like Connolly, Maguire, you can put them either side of him. Obviously McLean's doing well with Stoke as well. But I think having pace in each wing is really important to provide the assist and stuff like that. But I think it's also no harm in trying out Troy Parrott. You know, he's proven himself to be a huge goal scorer at underage level, maybe not so much yet at senior level, but someone of his talent and potential, I think it's absolutely no harm in putting him out there and giving him a go.
I think I'd have him in the squad, but I wouldn't have him in the starting 11 at a game of that magnitude. I think you look back at the game against Georgia, and we had James Collins up front because McGoldrick was either injured or he was injured. I think the dynamic of having, even if it is a case where we have to go like 3-5-2, with Coleman maybe being that third centre back like he's playing with Everton at the minute, and then you have Doherty pushing on in his natural position, you have Stevens in his natural position, but you have McGoldrick and Connolly up top.
Yeah,
I think that could be an interesting dynamic as well. Just for another idea, I doubt that, you know, if you had Egan, Duffy and maybe Coleman, which allow him to kind of push on a little bit, but again, at this magnitude, I don't think he's going to try anything new out. But I do look at the game against Georgia and think that if we maybe had David McGoldrick, I think we probably would have won that game, and I think he would have done a better job than Collins. I thought Collins did okay, but he was very, very, very isolated, and he doesn't seem to be that type of target man that I suppose we all thought he was. I think he's more of a get the ball in the box and I'll get on the end of it type of striker. He's not a back to goal.
He'd probably be more effective from the corners and the set pieces than he is at holding up the play.
When you look at the goal he scored from the end of Stevens' cross against Bulgaria, the way he got in, got his foot on it, you know, I don't think a lot of our strikers would actually have finished it like that. I think it was a great finish. I think it was a bit underrated as a goal. Do you know what I mean? Jack Byrne and Stevens, and he whipped it across. It was a great finish to get on the end of it. And I think maybe Mick kind of mistakenly thought he was maybe back to goal, because the size of him, you would think he could do that, but he was very isolated. Whereas I think if you had McGoldrick and Connolly together, that could have been interesting. Obviously Connolly came on the last couple of minutes, but I do think it's key that Connolly's played 2 full internationals now, whereas you speak about Troy, have him in there. I think Connolly's more vital to have in there than as a young lad, because he's done it so far. You got to remember that the under 21s are going to have their they have a double header I think in March as well, and they're in a great position now to qualify for the under 21 terms. And I am all for the under 21s doing well, but senior team's priority for me. I hate all these people who go, oh well, leave them in the under 21s. They're performing, and they're performing at a level that should be in the senior team.
And we need goals.
They should be in the senior team. I don't care what some fella turns around and says, oh well, you know, we want to see the under 21s do well. Stephen Kenny's God and all this. He's not God. Look, Stephen Kenny's a good manager, you know, and I hope he does well, and he probably will do well, and he's doing a great job with the under 21s. But you can't turn around and say he's going to be this and he's going to be that, and we're going to turn around and turn into Brazil and start playing like Barcelona. It's just not going to be the case. It's going to take time for kind of pattern of play to change. But in terms of what we have there, I think an ideal scenario, I think, would be David McGoldrick. If we're going 4-3-3, have David McGoldrick up there with Connolly, and it would probably be Callum Robinson. If we're going to be a bit realistic about it, at the same time, it's all well and good dreaming of, you know, Connolly, Ida.
You think Connolly be the start 11, do you?
I think if he keeps playing with Brighton, he's playing Premier League football. He's playing at the highest level. He might not be scoring again, but he works. He came on against Chelsea the other day and he changed the game. Brighton were losing. They got a draw in the end, but he came on and hassled Zuma and Rudiger constantly, and they didn't get a minute when he came on. He changed the game, changed the dynamic. We need something like that who's just going to hassle, and maybe it means that McGoldrick doesn't have to do as much running. If you have Connolly in and around, the thing about Connolly against I think it was Denmark, he was on the left wing 1 minute, then he was moved out to centre forward, then he was, and he just ended up having a horrendous game because he moved so much. His preferred position is down the middle. Although he's effective on the wing, and he played that under 21 game. I think it was against I think it was Iceland. It was at home anyway, and Stephen Kenny was raving. But the one that when Troy scored his first under 21 goal, and Connolly set it up for him. But again, if Ida's playing, I'm sure Ida could fill it on a kind of wider forward role, like an inside forward as well, which would allow David McGoldrick to obviously be the centre. He'd be your target man essentially. We'll have other players around him. But.
So I think I think everyone has decided, and he has earned it and he deserves it. So David McGoldrick is the number 9. So going into the qualifiers,
I don't think anybody can disagree.
Yeah, you know, like
he was arguably our player of the campaign up there with Glenn Whelan.
Yeah. He's fantastic.
And Darren Randall.
And he deserves it. I think that's what makes this so tough, is that there's two other positions there. The other wings, you know, the lads who can kind of come in when Dave McGoldrick drops back. And who would you have? I know you mentioned Callum Robinson there as well. Would you be handy to have, obviously, teammates at Sheffield United? I think they would get on well.
But it just goes back to the thing I'd say as well, is that they're consistent playing Premier League football.
Yeah.
Again, might not be scoring as much, but they're still playing against the best of the best every week. You know, even McGoldrick, he's a nightmare for defenders. Do you know what I mean?
Sheffield do well as well. You know, they're a team full of confidence. And
big
they're
time.
going out and getting results against big teams. So
and they're not afraid to have a go.
If he can bring that confidence with him into our squad, it's not going to do any harm.
But Sheffield United fans love him so much. Like, I remember he missed a sitter there the other week. He round the keeper and he put a wide hit side netting. And even that, the fans were still clapping. They love him because they know how much of a shift he puts in every single week. We know, and we've seen him putting in a shift for us against teams, and that's what he got. Like, I remember we played Georgia when Curran scored that free kick, and he got a stand ovation.
He was brilliant. He was brilliant that day. I mean, he has his number 9 jersey in the squad. Easy peasy.
It'll take some replacing. I mean, if someone was to come and take that off,
like if he gets injured,
something very serious.
If he gets injured before the qualifiers, that is a huge. That's one of the biggest blows.
Well, he was a big loss for the 2 games. Even if people forget, he has scored an international goal against Switzerland, who were the best team in the group. Like, I was speaking to Shane Duffy after the Denmark game, and he was saying, like, Switzerland are the best team he's faced in a long time. Well, this was just after playing Denmark, we drew 1-1 with. So it just goes to show he scored against the best team we could play, and, you know, again, he's a nightmare for defenders, because not only does he doesn't just stand static up against on the last man, is he drops deep and he allows the players to get on beyond. But the problem we've had previously is that the likes of, you know, McLean have been very defensive minded, obviously under orders to be defensive minded, whereas I think Connolly, if he's playing like a slightly wider, he's going to be looking to get in as an inside forward more so. Well, so that's going to be an interesting way to see what way he lines up. Are we going to have legs in the midfield? Is Glenn Whelan going to be in there? Is Josh Cullen going to be in there? So all these kind of things, it's going to be interesting to watch it all kind of unfold. But yeah, I do think Callum Robinson, he seems to like him on that right hand side, and
so you'd be happy if we saw McGoldrick, Connolly and Robinson?
I would.
I think at this period of time, even though most of the lads are quite young lads and don't have a huge amount of first team experience, I think we're quite spoiled for talent.
Yeah.
So I think it'd be a bit of a headache for McCarthy as well in March as to what
he has a few headaches, doesn't he? He has a few headaches, which is a great thing to complain about, isn't it?
For the first time in a long time,
yeah,
there'll be a few headaches, because for a long time under many Ireland managers, you know, you could expect the exact same.
Yeah, you could call
every single time, no matter what the previous results were.
Yeah, well, we are going through, and we have been going through a bit of a transitional period, probably since O'Neill's gone. Probably going through, and still kind of after the Euros, we were kind of going through a transitional period. Now, my God, it was horrendous. You know, we barely scored a goal in a year, and we won't get into it, but to have the likes of, you know, even that's just a list of strikers. If you think of the defenders that played over the weekend, Masterson got his debut with the FA Cup, O'Shea, Slaven Bilic really seems to like him. It'd be interesting to see if any of them maybe start getting, you know, called up ahead of Kevin Long. Again, I go back to Nathan Collins as well, sorry. But I do go back to the fact that the 21s are going to need those players as well. But there's a lot. It's exciting for Irish players, and I hate all these people who come out and be, you know, let them play or whatever. There's nothing wrong with being excited about having youth players coming through because we haven't had it, so there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. And I think we are producing very good players all the time, and I do think now we've had a backlog of good coaching from the FAI from the young age upwards, and I do think we're going to start seeing some really, really good players coming through. And I know we did a previous video speaking about the Bundesliga and maybe players going through there, but I think it might be a pathway now as, you know, players are still coming through the league as well. There's a lot of really exciting players, like Gavin Kilkenny and all, coming straight from Kevin's, then they're going over to the Premier League and stuff like that, and making it an impact. I do think there's a lot of players there that they won't probably come in March, but there's a lot to be excited. There's a lot to be excited about. Knight, Malumbi, Coventry, Conor Ronan, brilliant as well. Yeah. Lots of good players, and these are just off the top of me. If you really went into depth and start thinking about more, there's the keepers, Zunu, Kelleher. There's so many good players. But we also need to think, like, I do think that players like Jeff Hendrick has to have a really good game or 2 games, because his place is kind of on the line at the minute, and same with Howrahan. You know, he was getting a lot of abuse after I think it was the Georgia away game and the Denmark game, whereas people might be starting calling for them to be dropped. So I just hope they have a good game, because I do think that they are good players. And
I think Horahan is so important because obviously he's a fantastic set piece specialist. You know, he's a very good dead ball, and like we've discussed at the start of the video, you know, we're our most dangerous from dead ball. So you need someone like that who can whip it in like that. So it is important. That it's just the lads who are getting on the end of the balls that were.
And another player in that bracket is Robbie Brady as well. Like everyone wants to see him do well, and this is the thing. Everyone wants to see the lads do well. This is not a single and out thing either. There's lots of players in there, and I just think because we're so solid defensively, we don't worry about our centre backs so much. I mean, Duffy and Egan, we know are solid. Richard Keogh was always solid for us. You know, we've always had solid defenders. O'Shea, Dunn, you know, going back, and our fullbacks have always been fairly decent. Maybe people would say Stephen Ward wasn't, but you know, whatever. But if you're looking around, I think our wingers maybe and our midfield probably get the most abuse, because they're the ones that are supposed to maybe make the chances for the strikers or whatever. I think the strikers maybe get away with it sometimes too, but I do think that the likes of Malumbi and that in the future, I think because they're so action packed, they come with the ball at their feet, they can receive it with their back to goal or not. Whereas I think Jeff Hendrick's far better when he's kind of running into space and he can see what's in front of him, and like an attacking midfielder, you know. Whereas I think with Ireland, I think it's a bit unfair to maybe judge them because of the way we play previous. It's been very lump ball, and then it goes over, bypasses the midfield, and then sometimes when they're coming back, then he's just defending, so he doesn't really get to utilise his skills. Maybe same as Howrahan as well, because when Howrahan, I've seen him in the Premier League and he's battered teams. I know he battered Norwich pretty much by himself for Villa earlier on in the season.
Yeah, I was at that game. He was fantastic. When he came on, he was brilliant.
Yeah,
he was the difference.
He won 5-0 or something.
I was at the in Villa Park. He scored the winner there just after Christmas as well. So
but he
was fantastic in the 5-1.
Yeah, he won a penalty. He scored one. I think he assisted another, and that was just coming into the game against Georgia away. Actually, that was but maybe I went a bit off topic there.
We can always hone it back anyway. So the strikers we're going for, what we'd like to see: McGoldrick, Connolly, and Robinson. That's what we're thinking.
That's my.
Yeah, I definitely. I'd be happy with it.
Yeah,
I mean, they're all great players, but I think obviously McCarthy's got he really likes Callum Robinson, as you said, on the right wing. But obviously other options, I'd be happy to see Adamida, maybe on the right.
Yeah, I think it's a bit premature for Adamida. Just because we're talking about it right now, and he's just after scoring a hat-trick. So it depends. Is he going to
after the weekend? Maybe that's my.
I'm not saying to you. It's all Irish fans. Maybe are kind of like, oh my God, Adamida, he's going to be this. He's going to be our new, superstar. So let's see if he gets a couple of games in the Premier League and see how he does.
We should do. After that hat-trick, I think he is a shoe-in.
How much of a role do we think Shane Long will play in these qualifiers coming up?
Even if he gets in the squad.
Yeah, I'm not. I
love Shane.
I'd have him in the squad.
He's been around for so long. He hasn't been scoring goals. Do you think maybe his time's up? He needs.
I think you should have Long in there if he's playing in the Prem. Yeah. Even if he's not scoring, I think he's just good to have there.
Yeah. I'd nearly have Michael Obafemi over Shane Long just at the moment.
I was kind of thinking the same, but I just think that if you're I would have Long ahead of Collins, Hogan, and McCoy. For me, because the Prem, those lads there playing Championship and pretty much have been playing Championship there since they went to England, or I know the other two are from England, but whatever. Maguire's played Preston and hasn't really played any higher. Callum Robinson's made his move to Sheffield United. He's been playing Prem. Yeah. Long Prem, Obafemi Prem. I'd be happy. Do you know what I'd love to see? A squad of Premier League strikers. That's what I'd love to see.
How long is it since we have one then, do you reckon?
But that's what I'm saying. If Troy Parrott was on loan somewhere, I would kind of consider that still as Premier League strikers. But if we had a panel of 5 Premier League strikers, I'd be very happy with that.
Yeah, that'd be nice. I agree. Looking at the list here now, the strikers that are in the Premier League, if they got a little bit more game time, I think it's hard to argue that, in fairness.
Yep.
Yeah. Then I know you had asked before. Get my goals. Or you've kind of already said that. haven't you? I can clip this out in a minute.
Switch the formation.
I think we kind of covered everything.
Yeah,
We kind of went a bit even more so over.
Yeah.
Wrap it up for us there, so what?
Well, anyway, let us know your thoughts in the comments. Who would be your forward line? What way would you play? What formation would you play? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. And how much are you looking forward to the playoffs now? It's obviously not far away now. I think it's 2 months away. And they're coming quicker than ever, and our players are starting to do well. So let us know your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to like the video. Don't forget to subscribe, and we shall speak to you soon. Thanks for watching.